Hello everybody, I am Ace Creeper and today I'm back with a brand new video. Today is a video that is long overdue. This video is to celebrate a wonderful little event going around on Twitter called the 90s Who Tweetalong, or the Doctor Who on Twitch Continued, ran by @JDention. She and a bunch of other people are going to be doing 90s Who Tweetalongs on the dates, hopefully shown on screen now. Each of these specials is something I'll be hopefully talking about in the video today, to talk to you guys about it, to tell you what it is, hopefully hype up you a little bit of an interest, so that you can then jump on Twitter and tweet along and watch these things live with loads of other fans at the same time. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, although this is a little bit late because the whole thing started at the end of July. You can still sort of catch on now, there's not many done already, so we've still got loads to go, so you need to make sure you jump onto that. And yeah, should be very exciting. So yes, I did make a trailer for this in the style of the Twitch ones, and I did put it on the channel. But if you didn't see it on the channel, here it is right now.
Say hello to the sofa of reasonable comfort.
Don't make me laugh.
She even hates children.
They're half human, half Cyberman. That was quick. Yes, I believe that door.
His shoes! They fit perfectly. Dummy. You incompetent dummy.
You fear me now, Doctor. What do you want? I'm not sure I haven't thought of anything yet. External.
Yes.
Madam, what year is this?
Okay, so starting off with our first entry on the list. This came out in the year 1990, kicking off the whole 90s era of canonical and non-canonical Doctor Who specials. So, here is Search Out Space. What is Search Out Space? It is actually a special edition spin-off version of a kids TV show called Search Out Science, where they give you loads of facts and stuff, and in a fun and slightly entertaining way they'll give you all this stuff. This was an episode called Search Out Space, a spin-off of that, with the wonderful Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred, and John Leeson playing the voice of K9 as well, which was great. We got K9 back for the first time in a long time, alongside the 7th Doctor and Ace. They're all floating around, doing random weird facts. I'll be honest, I couldn't really get much from this. It just kind of just shows a lot of different things. It's just campy, cheesy type fun, and that's the only way I can really describe this. You've got Sylvester McCoy looking very happy to be back. Sophie Aldred's back as well as Ace, of course, and obviously K9. So it's very good to see them all on screen together, and it'll sort of start the sort of reign for 90s Who, because obviously, if you didn't know already, and we'll talk about this in quite a bit, K9 is actually in other specials during the 90s as well. So it's suggested that if you consider this canon, then at some point between Survival and Search Out Space, the 7th Doctor does indeed get K9 back at some point, or rebuild K9. So yeah, very exciting indeed, but that is pretty much it. It's just a game showy, factual, kids entertainment thing. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
The task is hopeless.
Congratulations. That's the answer I've got on the card. The task is hopeless. But this isn't. It's an ice cream.
The next one is Dimensions in Time. You might already know about this one, famously the one where the Doctors all come together and visit the set of EastEnders, weirdly enough. So this one stars the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th Doctor, as well as the heads of the 1st and 2nd floating about in a time vortex, of course, because obviously Patrick Troughton and William Hartnell had sadly passed away at this point. It also stars Susan, Victoria, the Brigadier, Sarah Jane Smith, Romana, Leela, Perry, Mel, K9, etc. Loads of other ones as well. It also starred the Rani, and yeah, it aired for the kind of official, unofficial 30th anniversary special, airing right after the actual date on the 26th and 27th of November in 1993. So yeah, very exciting stuff. The story's a bit weird. The Doctor and companion, I'm just going to say that, go to Albert Square and get zapped through time, get zapped into different shapes and formats. So the 7th Doctor will be walking down the street with Ace, and then suddenly it's the 6th Doctor with Ace, and then suddenly it's John Pertwee, and he's with Sarah Jane Smith, etc, etc, etc. There's loads of them. But it's a nice way of bringing them all together, if not a bit campy and a bit cheesy, but you do have the wonderful moments of John Pertwee screaming in a woman's face, asking what year it is. Obviously, you'll all know about that.
Madam, what year is this?
2013!
It is quite typical campy fun, and it apparently, according to Noel Edmonds, raised over £100,000 for children in need that year, just from this special alone, so well done on that one. Yeah, it's kind of just a lot of fun, really. It's a nice placement if you want to just watch it. I believe it's on YouTube somewhere, and it is quite short. It's not the length of a full episode or anything, but it is in 2 parts. Sit back, get yourself a drink, get yourself a bowl of popcorn or something, and sit and enjoy Dimensions in Time, because it is utterly brilliant. Next on the list is Destiny of the Doctors. Now, a few of you may or may not have known about this beforehand. Those who are fans of the Doctor Who Poop YouTube channel indefinitely will know about this, mainly for the origin of the mini-series Master Car.
Get a move on, slow coach.
Destiny of the Doctors is a 3D live-action type video game type thing where you fight Daleks, Autons, and you are trying to save the Doctors, all of them, from the Master, pretty much. The Master is, once again, is played by Anthony Ainley. It's his last appearance as the Master on screen, and he gives it his all. A train conductor, just a man sitting on a train. A car driver, he has robots, he has board games, he has drinks, he has everything. Anything you say, oh, well, that's never going to happen with a Master. Oh, it happens. It happens. He is so random in this, but it is so brilliant. The DVD scenes version where you just watch through is all on YouTube again, and it is just all of Anthony Ainley's scenes as the Master, and by God, is it brilliant. Just seeing him, his passion, his stupid, funny one-liners, it is indeed brilliant, and I am beyond happy for this. You could also say as well, the way he gets locked up at the end is sort of reminiscent of how the TV movie starts, having him in a cage getting shot at by Daleks. So, who knows? Maybe it could be canon. I really hope it is, because this guy is a great Master, and his performance in this is utterly hilarious, and it cannot be beaten in my opinion. Next in line is the TV movie. The Doctor Who TV movie, you'll all know about this one. The pilot for an American version of the Doctor Who series where Paul McGann would play the Doctor. Yeah, the pilot wasn't successful, but the TV movie indefinitely is. Although very cringy, Paul McGann is definitely a standout, hence why he's so loved by fans today, hence why he got brought back on Big Finish, and hence why he got brought back for Night of the Doctor in 2013. He is brilliant in this. Every little scene is, it's very cheesy, very standard 90s American. But the TARDIS is beautiful, interior and exterior. The Doctor is splendid, his Victorian costume. It could have built up to something truly special, like an in the middle of a classic and New Who type mix. It would have been quite weird, but possibly quite different as well, and I wouldn't have minded seeing that. It's a shame this didn't get made into a full-fledged series, but nevertheless, we have got it on Blu-ray, DVD, etc. now, and it is out there, it is publicly seen, and it is not forgotten about. Also, Sylvester McCoy is in there as well. So that is also very much quite exciting. Yeah, I am a big fan of this, and I really do like this special. I will do a full review of it one day on the channel, hopefully. But for now, there's my basic sort of mini review on it, I suppose. If you haven't already seen the TV movie, go and watch it. It is good, and it is definitely worth your time. Jumping forward to 1999, we have Introduction to the Night. Doctor Who Night was a very entertaining night just to celebrate Doctor Who in general. It had loads of different things on, one of which we will be talking about in just a moment. But it did have loads of different things in, very specially though, a custom-made introduction sequence with Tom Baker playing a future incarnation of the Doctor in a TARDIS that we've never really seen before, him wearing a costume that we've never seen before. Of course, people can just throw this away as non-canon, but since there's not too much to contradict it, it is quite nice to think this could actually be the curator that we see in Day of the Doctor. A nice interesting thought. That is very, very possible.
That's why we're here, isn't it?
Next, we've got the VHS links. Some of you may not know about this, some of you may, but it's on the list anyway for the 90s Who sort of run through. So we're going to be talking about it anyway. Tom Baker sits in front of a screen for a long period of time watching some of his old Doctor Who episodes and making brief commentaries. It is quite nice and quite exciting, but it's not really a canonical Doctor Who special. It is more of just a nice side thing that I feel like people may be entertained by. It is quite nice to see Tom Baker talking about his episodes and how he truly felt, because he really is quite a nice bloke, and you know, he does try his best in this, and it is still very entertaining to watch and get his opinions on. You can also tell when he gets bored with the clip as well and decides to jump onto another one, and it is just hilarious because he says almost the same thing every single time.
Let's have a look at another one. I'm feeling quite pleased, you know.
Next, we're talking about The Web of Caves. This is a very short skit with Mark Gatiss as the Doctor. You may recognise Mark Gatiss, of course, playing Professor Lazarus, and obviously the Captain in Twice Upon a Time. He's been a writer for Doctor Who, New Who for years, and yeah, he portrays the Doctor in this. Him and David Walliams came together and make a few sketches, but this is the one that made the list because it's actually kind of based in a Doctor Who parallel universe type thing. It's not a canonical Doctor, of course it isn't. It is just a sketch. You've got David Walliams as an alien, and you've got Mark Gatiss as the Doctor. It's quite an entertaining little watch, again, just 5 minutes long I think, so just go and watch it on YouTube. It is brilliant and it is a lot of fun.
What if I were to hollow out the Earth's core and replace it with a giant motor so I could pilot the planet anywhere in the universe?
Been done. You're sure?
Yeah.
Oh. You're the expert.
In 1999 there was Red Nose Day, and Doctor Who, The Curse of the Fatal Death was aired on UK television, and my god, it was brilliant. Written by the wonderful Stephen Moffat, and wonderful, I'm holding back on that. It stars the Doctor, played by Rowan Atkinson, Richard E. Grant, Jim Broadbent, Hugh Grant, and Joanna Lumley. It has a companion, and it also has the Master as well. You've got many different interpretations of the Doctor in this. Of course, the running joke is obviously that keeps regenerating. I find it quite funny that the 13th Doctor, even in this, is still a woman. So yeah, it is an entertaining watch. It's, again, quite a short little comedy sketch, but it is pretty good, and it is, you know, it's fun to see Rowan Atkinson as the Doctor, especially since I would have thought him, Richard E. Grant, Jim Broadbent, Hugh Grant have all been sort of picked as, like, in the past, most of them anyway, have been picked out as like, oh, they'd be a pretty cool Doctor, so it is quite nice to see them play the role, albeit for about a minute or so. But yeah, it is definitely worth a watch. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, because it is quite funny, but it does bring some funny jokes forward, the sort of Dalek bumps, the communicating through farts, etc. It is very typical British humour, and it's pretty fun, so yeah, definitely give that one a watch.
Rejuvenating my physical form and granting me even more power over the cosmos.
And I notice breasts.
They're not breasts, okay? They're Dalek bumps.
Another one to talk about today is the WEBCAST stories. Some of you may not know about these, but we're going to go through sort of each one at a time of their release, really. One, 2001, 2002, 2003, but they all kind of link in together, so it's worth just talking about them quickly. I haven't watched any of these, so I can't really recommend them or knock them down. I'm going to wait till the actual tweet-along for this one. But yeah, from what I see and what I've read, they seem pretty fun and pretty entertaining to watch. They are sort of where the origins of Big Finish came from, if you sort of know what I mean there. They're small webcast animations that went out online around this time. One with the 7th Doctor, one with the 6th Doctor, and one with the 8th Doctor. So yeah, let's just talk about that. The first one, Death Comes to Time, stars Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. It deals with Gallifrey, Tardises, and the Doctor eventually dying, which sort of negates from the original plot of obviously him regenerating into the 8th Doctor in the TV movie. So this was interesting because if the BBC actually decided to go this way, we may never have had Paul McGann, and Christopher Eccleston might have been the actual official 8th Doctor. So that's kind of interesting to see where they may or may not have gone with it. But realistically, God knows. It seems like it's alright. It comes together quite nicely. It looks quite polished. And again, for a webcast that came out in 2001 and had not really too much of a budget, it is quite nice to see. And it does look like the sort of origins of where Big Finish came from, hiring the old doctors to come back in and do a bit of voice work. And it is, you know, it looks pretty fun. You've also got Real Time as well, which aired in 2002. You may know about this one for the famous Colin Baker's Sixth Doctor's blue coat, opposed to his multicoloured one. The blue coat is something that is famously known like across like fan art and like custom figures and stuff. So yeah, it is pretty damn good. It does star Colin Baker and a wide cast of other people as well. What's funny about this one I quite like is Nicholas Briggs, the person who's done the voices of the Daleks, the Cybermen, most robots and stuff over the years of New Who. This was his first proper acting role in Doctor Who, and this he played the Cyber Controller and Professor Osborn. So yeah, it's actually kind of a lot of fun, and again, it's a nice little Sixth Doctor story that probably a lot of people are quite aware of. But again, it's just one of those things that if you've watched it, you've watched it. If you haven't, you're not. But I knew about this way before I even like knew it was a webcast or anything. Like I knew about the costume, I knew about the look of the Cybermen in this. So it is kind of interesting, nevertheless. So definitely worth somewhat of a watch. And the final one is Shada. Now you will recognise this one as it was recently released with Tom Baker. Shada was an episode in Tom Baker's era that kind of got cut off and never really finished properly, and there's been so many different versions of it released, the most recent one being on Steelbook, Blu-ray and DVD, filling in the bits that weren't filmed with animation and voiceovers from the wonderful Tom Baker and the rest of the cast. But this is a separate incarnation. It kind of cuts halfway through the Fourth Doctor story, and it has the Eighth Doctor come to finish the job. It has Romana and K9 in it as well, so it is linking back to that once again, and does in fact star Paul McGann as the Doctor for the first time properly since the TV movie. So that is kind of exciting if you want to see the direction that we're going in with that. It also does count as the official 40th anniversary of Doctor Who, obviously airing in 2003. But yeah, again, it's the final webcast that was sort of bigged up like the other two, and one of the origins of sort of where Big Finish came from, because I think after this, obviously Paul McGann went on to do loads and loads of Big Finish stuff. So yeah, it is a mildly entertaining watch from what I've seen, and yeah, definitely something to recommend. Next on the list is Scream of the Shalka, a sort of webtoon type thing that was aired around 2003 as well, I believe. With a completely different universe of doctors and masters, etc. But it is semi-interesting for a few little reasons. A lot of you in the Gmod community might remember this because obviously it got made into like the Tardis from this got made into a Tardis model in that game, so a lot of people obviously might have known about that, me included, known about that before I knew about the actual sort of webtoon. But playing the Doctor is Richard E. Grant, of course, who played the Great Intelligence in Series 7, but also played the Doctor in Curse of the Fatal Death, which I mentioned before. So yeah, kind of interesting and kind of significant. It also has, playing the Master, Derek Jacobi, who you will know because he obviously played the Master prior to John Sim in Utopia, and he also plays the War Master in the Big Finish audiobook. So yeah, both big names there already in the Doctor Who universe, so it's interesting to see them come together for a proper story. I've only watched little bits and bats here and there, but there's a very significant and new style to it. It's not like the webcast. This is full, proper, animated, and kind of reminds me a little bit of like Dreamland or something, or like the Infinite Quest, sort of early 2007, 2008 Doctor Who, when they were making these weird little animation things. Kind of reminds me of that sort of style, so if that's what you're into and you've never seen this before, probably worth watching, actually, just to get on your list. And I believe you can buy this on DVD. I think you can get this on DVD. I might be mistaken in that, though. But yeah, from what I've seen, it looks quite entertaining, it looks very well made, and it's quite interesting to see it's not really picked up very much in the sort of world of Who. But yeah, it is a pretty good watch.
Whatever it is, I don't want to be here!
You seem a nice young man. You should stay off the grass.
And that is pretty much it. On the tweet along after that, they will be watching Rose, and that'll be on the Friday, the 28th of September at 5 PM. And they'll be watching Rose to sort of commemorate the end of the 90s specials and say hello to the wonderful New Who series, which obviously started in 2005. And there you go, that is the full list. If you haven't already checked out And there you go, that is the full list. If you haven't already checked out the tweet-alongs, go and do that now. It's a lot of fun, and it looks like quite a nice thing to bring the community together a little bit, hence why I thought I'd mention it in this video. The 90s Who is a very significant time for Doctor Who. It just showed that even though the series was taken off air, that there were so many fans backing it, that there were so many actors willing to come back for a show that they and the fans really loved. And it is just absolutely splendid to see. So if you haven't already seen some of these things and you've learned something new today, or maybe if you even haven't, go and have a watch. Go and join in with a tweet along. I know we're about halfway through now anyway, but it's still worth having a look. It's still worth showing your interest in it, because yeah, they are entertaining and they are unique and they are different. Not new Who, but not classic Who. It's kind of the in-between. But it just goes to show that even when Doctor Who is off the air, it's never gonna die. So there you go. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you leave a like. Comment below for any more suggestions in the future. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel, the Discord server if you want to discuss all this cool stuff and more. Check out all my social media links, which are all in the description below, and I'll see you all next time. Have a lovely day.